How's it going, YouTube? So today I want to take you guys through my stretching routine. Um, it is mostly inspired by Tom from the Bodyweight Warrior. I will link him down below. With any stretching routine, you should be tailoring it to yourself. That's what I've done. I took Tom's full body flexibility routine and changed it slightly for myself as I need it. I was filming it today outside, which is not usually the location I do it in, but it was a nice backdrop, so thumbs up for that. So without further ado, let's jump into the full routine. Alright guys, here we are in our stretching routine. I start off all my stretching routines from top going down to the bottom. So since we're starting at the top, we're starting with the neck stretches. I like to go sideways first by pulling my head, and then I pull it forward, as we can see here. My left side, which is I'm stretching, is not as tight, but now when I switch over to that right side, I am in pain. The side one is I have discomfort in, and then when I pull it forward, I can feel the stretch going down into my trap. While we're watching me stretch, I also wanted to talk about why I have decided to do this. So I have mobility issues and I want to improve my body posture. That's my main goal. And why I'm doing these stretches. Also, overall health. I think, from being a software engineer, sitting at work all day, I'm gonna greatly benefit from stretching out every day. So right here we're watching me stretch the delts out. They're tight as well for me, and anything in my upper body seems to be very tight. And I think it all comes from just years and years of sitting in classrooms and at work, typing away on a computer. Also to note, this is the beginning of my journey. So I just started this, and just like with anything you're working on, you're gonna improve. So if you think that I look bad at stretching, yes, I do. I just started this 2 weeks ago. I made the commitment to stretch every day. This stretch right here that we're looking at is for the chest. It's to open up the chest. So I also use this stretch to open myself up on bench days. So when I bench press, I like to do this stretch. Also note about all the poses. You want to hold them for 30 seconds. You want to feel discomfort, but not too much of discomfort. You want to slowly progress as time goes on into the stretches. So, a note about what we're watching, I am not doing the 30 seconds. I had to cram in all my footage into a 15-minute video. I wanted to talk about this stretch right here. This is for the lats to be stretched out. And one of the mobility issues I have is going overhead with my arms, and that my shoulder mobility is really bad. So as we're watching this, I will point out right now, like, there will be a point where I'm gonna push it a little bit further, and I feel like it's kind of noticeable. I think right there I kind of started. Right there I I took a deep breath and I sunk into the stretch one. So when you're stretching, think about breathing through. Breathing is very important when stretching. If you're not breathing properly, you're setting yourself up for failure. So like I mentioned, you want to hold your stretches for 30 seconds. This one, since it is the really sticking point for me, like it hurts. You see, I'm able to sink further and further as I hold it longer. So this one I held for more than a minute, and I usually do that. Once I'm done with the upper body, I like to go switch down into the lower body portion. So here I am stretching the hamstrings, obviously. I spend a good amount of time on that. I don't think, I mean, looking at it, I am tight, but I can reach my toes. Another thing I have to improve greatly is my squatting. So I think I have really tight ankles. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to stretch out the ankles and get more of a calf stretch. And you can see my downward dog does not look good. After the downward dog, I like to go into my wrist series. So right here I am trying to get I try to push my shoulders forward to create an angle. Then I reverse. I'm trying to get some padding here on my wrist because the floor is hurting. Then I get some of these reverse wrist stretches, and my right wrist just hurts. I think it was from years of playing tennis. But right here I just do the inverse, and then I do the back of the wrist again, and I finish it off by internally rotating. So my mobility on internal rotating one is really bad, and I do feel the stretch. So I just sink into here, I try to find my happy place and just breathe through it. Once I'm done with wrists, I go into cat dog, and I try to stretch the middle of my back. For some reason my mid back is very tight, so when I breathe in, oh my gosh, that right there, yeah. So it's for the, what do they call it, thoracic spine? I like to call it Jurassic spine. But once again, right here I'm trying to do a baby pose, and you can see that my overhead shoulder mobility is not that great. I will try to sink in deeper as I'm doing this. So over the months, I'm gonna be trying to pay attention to these kinds of poses, like right here, where I'm gonna be really looking at how my shoulders are positioning over time. Now I move into some little of my I'm stretching my toes out right there. Then I move into forgetting the word here, guys, crotch area, my crotch stretches. I was squatting, so I'm feeling very tight here. Usually I can sink down to my elbows on these guys, but I was really feeling it tight right here. So 30 seconds on each side again. Watch me finish that up, and after that I'm gonna fold up the mat and sink into a glute stretch. So I start off on the right side. So this is a modified pose. My back leg is on the side. If you were really flexible, you could probably have your leg straight. I have my back leg bent because I'm already feeling plenty of a stretch here. So over the months, I'm hoping that I can move my body more over my leg where I can straighten out. And as I switch over to the left side, my left butt is much tighter. So you can see I'm really not even straight over my leg. I'm like on a side pose here, and it's painful. I will admit it's painful, but once again, you just gotta breathe through these and take your time. I can say in these last 2 weeks, I have improved. Even the slightest, I have improved. I will take every day as an improvement. So next, after that, I go into the hip flexor stretch. So this one is a slightly modified one. I don't stretch out my back leg far because some stuff I found online that having your back leg more vertical with your upper body is actually more ideal. And I really feel this stretch internally, like it's going behind, like in the back of my stomach. So after that, we are gonna go into more of a crotch stretch. Jeez, I cannot think of what the term is that I want to call it, so I'm just gonna call it crotch, guys. All right, forgive me. I'm laughing at myself here. So my lower back is actually feeling very tight in these, so I cannot go very forward. Next, I'm gonna go into the number 4 hamstring stretch. So with this one, I am feeling it in my lower back. As you guys can see, ideally your lower back should be bending more forward. It's just tight for me. I'm hoping that over time it will loosen up. I am making goals for myself as far as what I want to accomplish with this. And besides this stretching routine, which I try to do every morning. If I don't do it in the morning, I get it in at night. So right there I finished the hamstring ones, and now again I try to go forward. The splits, you see once again my lower back is just not going forward. I'm feeling very tight, like I'm feeling it in the hamstring, but more so I'm feeling it in the lower back. But after this stretch right here is done, I want to talk about my goals. So I mentioned Tom from Bodyweight Warrior. Here I have a picture on the bottom right of myself, and the other 2 pictures is what I want to accomplish in this year as far as my stretch goes. Is it possible? I don't know, but I sure am going to try. The next one is I put this downward dog position in here primarily because of the ankles. My ankles are more pointed inwards, and obviously my shoulder mobility is not that great either here. And so I'm hoping to mimic Tom here in his downward dog position. I think this pose is probably my most achievable one. Also, stretching out the lats here for that shoulder mobility. If I can get my shoulders mobility up, that'd be great. But it looks like I'm close, but I'm actually not, as my back is actually much lower than his is. So these are some of my goals. So I'm gonna leave the commentary here and exit out of here. Alright, thank you guys for watching. If you've gotten to this point, subscribe, leave a like, and comment with any questions. I'll try to answer. I hope you like my little stretching routine, and like I just started this 2 weeks ago, so we'll see how I progress as the months go on. My goal is to do this every day for the rest of my life, hopefully. So thank you guys for watching. See you next time.